welcome to this National Sports Forum session focused on creating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that really do create true, authentic social and economic change in communities. I am Gina Miller. I work on the communications team here at FC Dallas, located in Frisco, Texas, just about 20 minutes north of Dallas, Texas. Over the next hour or so, you're going to meet some key stakeholders who ideated and participated in FC Dallas's Homegrown Partner Program, an incredibly powerful diversity, equity, and inclusion program that we believe is the first of its kind and unique in a number of ways. Why? Because it provides access and opportunity to minority-owned businesses in the Dallas-Fort Worth market in the form of a customized FC Dallas package, sponsorship package, with a bit of a twist. And we'll get to all of that over the course of the next hour. So friendly reminder, this really is an interactive discussion. We absolutely want to hear your questions and thoughts on the Homegrown Partner Program, how you could potentially parlay this to your business, or what kind of brand or business might be a good candidate for a program like that. First, though, let's introduce our panel. We're so excited to have everybody on here. We have Casa M Spice co-founder Manny Hernandez. Casa M Spice was a member of the 2021 Homegrown Partner Program class and then transitioned into a full-time culinary partner for FC Dallas in 2022. That story is really impressive there in terms of growth, social and economic change for that business. We also have three colleagues from FC Dallas. We have team president, Dan Hunt, FC Dallas Foundation Director, Brooke Leverette, and FC Dallas Vice President of Partnership Marketing, Megan Miller. Thank you all so much. This is so much fun to talk about this because we're all so passionate and we believe in this program. And it's so great to be able to share what this program has accomplished with people both in our market, outside our market, and throughout the sports space. So let's kick it off here with really explaining what it is we do at FC Dallas with the Homegrown Partner Program. Dan, this really was your brainchild here. Can you describe the Homegrown Partner Program and what exactly it does to help truly create that social and economic change throughout communities?
Yeah, thanks, Gina, and it's great to be with everybody today. And you give credit here, but you should also take some credit in this because this idea was born out of a conversation that we were having as we were both driving down the Dallas North Toll Road, headed south to where we live. And in the wake of a lot of the social injustice stuff that we all saw and it has continued to happen over time, we were ideating about what change, what impact FC Dallas can make in our community, in our local community. And, you hit on it earlier, access and opportunity. I think that's something that stands in the way of so many minority-owned businesses. And we were brainstorming back and forth, and the idea just, sort of just popped out was we need to go and find local companies that we can get behind and support that may not have the chance to grow their business that maybe another business would have. And so we were going back and forth about it, and it's been incredibly impactful. It's been so eye-opening to participate in this. We had an unbelievable rookie class with our first five, which is really special. And it's awesome to have Manny here with us today, and Qasim's been such a great success story. And but each one has had I think a great platform from this first class that they've had. I mean, Carlton Dixon with Reveal Suits too has had so much success. Really a cool story. We're having a National Soccer Hall of Fame induction ceremony this weekend, and he produces the jackets for the Hall of Famers, and now he produces the jackets for the Naismith Hall of Fame Basketball Hall of Fame too. And so it's great to see his business take off, and they're great. And I know Megan and Brooke will probably talk about it, but Manny, they were really an ideal partner in all of this. They maximized the opportunity, but also really, I think, helped us be better at FC Dallas. They were so fabulous to work with all the time, so engaging, and it's easy to cheer for them once you get to know them, see their pride. The product is fabulous, and unfortunately, it's not fabulous for my waistline because it makes every meat taste good. And I greatly appreciate that because the only cooking I do is barbecuing. But in all seriousness, this is something that was incredibly important to our FC Dallas family. Is to grow these minority-owned businesses that, again, I think are overlooked and not given the opportunity, and they're as good or better than any other business that gets the opportunity. So It was really born out of brainstorming. The beauty of it is that each one of our partners gets 100,000 in assets across the entire company, whether it be tickets, sponsorship, meet and greet, player appearance. You pick it. It's customizable to what the business selects and how they feel will be best suited to grow their own personal business and how they maximize the FC Dallas assets. So it's been incredibly rewarding, but it did open our eyes to some blind spots. I think, and Gina and I went through this, and Megan and Brooke. It was really a great learning experience, but I'm so proud of our first 5, and now we've selected a second group of 5 candidates, and they've been amazing to start working with too.
It's quite a commitment from a financial standpoint and a labor standpoint also that really touches every aspect of the organization, which we'll dive into a little bit later. As we continue really explaining what the Homegrown Partner Program is. Megan, what kind of business makes a really great Homegrown Partner Program candidate?
Yeah, it's a great question. And there's so many businesses here locally that are a great fit. And, I love that you use the word, partner and not sponsor, because that's what we believe in here at FC Dallas is long-term partnerships where we can benefit from everything that we can give. I think the key is to ensure that the power of our brands together, can help move their businesses forward. And that's where we have to ask the questions on what they need. Do they need more brand awareness? Can we help them with more foot traffic in their locations? How do they want to speak to our fans? And we can figure that out from the discovery meetings if we can help them meet their goals. So knowing that is key, and knowing if they're a good candidate. And Dan was mentioning some of our partners, and I think that's the best way to showcase examples for everybody listening today. Last year we had Smoky John's. It's a single location barbecue restaurant in Dallas. We had Urban Hydration. It's clean skin care and hair care. He mentioned Reveal Suits. Grit Fitness being a fitness studio and having multiple locations. And then Casa M Spice. I won't take the anything away. I'll let Manny talk about that. But the class this year, we've got 2 food companies with Cookie Society and the Good Jerky, 2 youth educational companies with eSposure and iCode. And then we've got Southwest Mobile Advertising, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It's advertising on wheels. So you can see just by the range of these companies, they're all completely different and all great candidates for the program.
Which is so exciting because we've been exposed to such a diverse range of candidates throughout the entire process. We've also been exposed to a few other things, a lot of learnings, if you will. And Brooke was really a part of this thing from the very beginning as the director of the FC Dallas Foundation, as both Megan and Dan were. And Brooke, all of us on this call know that we absolutely developed this thing from scratch. We ideated the application process. We created the matrix by which we judge and assess these candidates' viability to be a homegrown partner. A lot of learnings along the way, and I think that's a massive understatement if I'm being real honest here. What were some of the key lessons and takeaways you had from that application and application and evaluation process as it came through to you, as these all came through to you?
Yeah, totally. And as mentioned, this was something that was started and built from the ground up. And luckily through the FC Dallas Foundation, we have a grant program. So we kind of took that as the framework because with that, just like our Homegrown Partner Program, we collect applications. There is that evaluation process and ultimately making some final decisions. While both programs are very different, we took the framework of our grant program and kind of altered it a little bit. And as with any program that you build from the ground up, you're going to continue to learn stuff every year and adapt the program year over year. So we did a lot of that on the logistics side for sure. And then as Dan alluded to a little bit earlier, it definitely kind of brought forth some blind spots that we had as a company. And we definitely took those learning experiences as well and tried to adjust. One thing we realized very early on is that we needed some additional representation in the selection process, internally as well as externally. So we hired an external consultant, Larry Lundy, who is very involved with the entire process of kind of helping us build out that matrix and the selection, evaluation, and all of that. And then we also heavily relied on our internal FC Dallas Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And having that group be a part of that evaluation and selection process as well was so crucial for us to make sure that as a company, we were making the right decisions in our selection process. And then on the flip, go ahead, Gina.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and then as we promoted the program, year one, when you create something brand new, you're trying to push that out, and we were looking for as many applicants as possible, and reaching out to local chambers and groups like that. And we were often met with the question of, well, are you a member? To which the answer was oftentimes no. And so we found that, and we've really tried to address that and become better partners in that regard, also to local community chambers. So since the launch and inception of the program, we've become a member of the Greater North Texas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Asian Chamber of Commerce, and the Black Chamber of Commerce. And then we also work very closely with the North Texas LGBT Chamber of Commerce on our Pride Night, as well as some other internal education opportunities. So we're looking to continue to grow that footprint in our community as well, and truly get connected to these businesses that we want applying and a part of our Homegrown Partner Program.
And I think, you and Dan both addressed the blind spots. And I think it's so important that before you effectuate any sort of change, you really have to look at yourself. And we did take that hard look and take some steps to make some of those changes necessary to serve those communities quite a bit better. So I love hearing that progress has been made in that regard, Brooke. So Manny, what was appealing to you and Casa M Spice about the Homegrown Partner Program? Because there's so many of these opportunities out there, whether it's, enter this to be a part of that or something along those lines. What was it that clicked with you and your team at Casa M Spice about this particular opportunity?
So when we read the details on the program itself, the Home on the Horizon, and by the way, Larry Lundy is an amazing individual. Working with him has been a great experience all around. Understanding that the industry that we're in, there's a lot of competition. It's a saturated market, of course. Everybody has their own spice blends. Even though we do feel that we have a premium product, we really wanted to do something that was going to set us apart, that would allow us to tout to those buyers out there. Again, we're a spice company, so we're talking to the buyers at the local grocery store chains, the national store chains, and we really wanted something that was going to be unique and really help us build that brand awareness that we really need to focus on. Again, there are so many different competitions out there. We thought having visibility, thousands of eyes every week from the MLS soccer fans on our products would have a huge impact on the organization, and ultimately it did. When we submitted our initial application, we looked at it, Mike and myself, Mike, the co-founder and better half, we looked at it and said, gosh, it's going to be a long shot. We really hope that this works out. What a wonderful opportunity it would be for us to, again, just have that visibility to folks. We feel we have a premium product. We know we've won the awards, but it doesn't matter unless folks know that you're out there. So looking at this opportunity, we were really excited about that. I think initially there was 150 plus applications. We were aware of that, talking to Larry. We looked at each other and we're like, it's a long shot, but let's keep our fingers crossed. And ultimately we were selected, and what a great opportunity it was. So just looking at it, we've looked at our paid marketing campaigns that we had done up until this point, and we realized, this just makes a lot of sense for us. And again, ultimately it was a huge success for us.
Well, and it was so successful that you transitioned to become a full-time culinary partner of FC Dallas, which we'll get into a little bit later. But you had so many highlights in year one. And I think one of your biggest highlights that benefited us very selfishly, you were on Good Morning America in 2021. Tell us about that.
So we were, and everything that we've done up until this point working with FC Dallas, I tell folks we almost feel like we're part of the extended FC Dallas family, because we want you guys to succeed just as much as you want us to succeed. And we wanted to show our appreciation. So we did partner with Good Morning America. We're on their Good Morning Steals and Deals, offering our gift sets. And what we wanted to do was tout the Major League Soccer Hall of Fame, which is based right there in Frisco. So what we did is every order that we fulfilled, we include marketing material for the Hall of Fame, just touting our partnership with MLS and how proud that we are for that.
I love to hear it. And actually, National Soccer Hall of Fame Induction Weekend is this weekend. It's a 6-member class going in here in Frisco, Texas, highlighted by Clint Dempsey, but also Christy Pierce-Rampone, Essie Baharmas, Linda Hamilton, Shannon Box, and Marco Echeverri all going in this weekend. So very exciting weekend here in Frisco. It may have been a little self-serving, but I know people want to know that as well. So Brooke and Megan, you guys really did a lot of the heavy lifting. in that first year, and here we are in year 2. In executing and working with all of our partners during the inaugural season and now in 2021, what were some of the lessons that your team members learned during the execution and really account management process? Because we have a lot of account managers who are watching this, managing those brand accounts, managing those partners who work with the franchises. What did your team learn in working with our homegrown partners?
Yeah, I can jump in and start here. I'll highlight 2 things for this. First, we've got to remember that we're working with local small businesses that are likely new to the sports world. And these are not huge organizations with multiple agencies. So, and what I mean by that is the applicants for the program end up being, like Manny, there are day-to-day contacts, they're the decision makers, and they're the agencies. So we have to be sensitive with their time and be their solutions. We don't want to take away from their day-to-day businesses that they need to run. So that was a learning curve for us first year, bringing on 5 partners at once and really sticking to that with all of our partners. And, that's where I'll brag on our business development team here, led by Melissa Janetta, because they customize the right assets from the very beginning for each company, because absolutely one size does not fit all. And then our partnership marketing team that you mentioned, and the managers and the directors on that team, they're awesome at creating streamlined communication, to keep us on track so these new partners aren't overwhelmed. Cody Wilson and Madison Jones deserve a special shout out for all their hard work, because they are helping create those turnkey solutions. Second, we receive feedback from our partners from last year, and we asked them, be honest with us and tell us what we did well and where we can, improve. So we did our end of year recaps, and, the thing they shared was they wanted more networking opportunities with other homegrown partners. So we took that to heart. We've already hosted our current homegrown partners in our season opener here at FC Dallas. And we're committed to bringing both of these classes together at least 2 times this year so they can network. And really, we learn from this and all the key learnings, from last year and this year.
I think it's interesting you mentioned how one size really doesn't fit all. What were some other aspects of the partnership that surprised you when it comes to what each individual partner might have wanted more of? And it's unique because we have culinary partners, we have technology partners, we have businesses in really every industry who are participating in this program in both years 1 and 2. What else surprised either you or Brooke in that regard?
I can jump in and answer a couple things, and then Brooke, I can have you share some of
dive in.
The foundation side. But that's part of the discovery meetings. We ask, what's your number one thing we can do for you? And some just say brand awareness. We know we have a great company, but remember, as we're coming out of COVID, some of these companies, especially some of the food companies, weren't able to be out there and interact with the public the same. So they asked us brand awareness. And there are others that said, we want to be associated with FC Dallas and your family. We want to know that we have that logo and that we can work together. And you've got some that just want our social media presence and to reach our fans and supporters. So we ask them those questions from day one because, the point of this is, can we help you, reach your goals and increase your business? So yeah, we have really candid conversations at the very beginning of these. And Brooke, I'll toss it to you.
Yeah, and Megan, to one of your points earlier, you mentioned that we don't use the word sponsor around here. We use the word partner. And with any of our corporate partners, obviously we want good partnership on the business side, but also we want good community partners. And we didn't want that to stop with our homegrown partners as well. So we, on the foundation side, and this, I have the privilege of working with Megan and her team quite closely throughout the year with all of our partners due to this. And so we worked to kind of identify some areas that our homegrown partners have a focus on in the community and find alignment to how we can partner on projects and programs to make an impact in areas that are important to both of us, our homegrown partner and FC Dallas. And so we had the opportunity with Grit Fitness They obviously are a fitness company, and health and wellness is one of the pillars of the FC Dallas Foundation. And so we were able to put on an event here at Toyota Stadium with them. And we did a fitness class in one of our club spaces with proceeds benefiting the FC Dallas Foundation, which was so awesome for both groups because we got to expose some of our fans to the Grit Fitness product. And then Grit Fitness, who has a wonderful following of their own, brought a lot of their clients out to our facilities as well, all while benefiting a great cause. And then with one of our homegrown partners from last year as well, Urban Hydration, they're based here in Frisco, just like us. And they have kiddos that are in our Frisco Independent School District schools. And both of us actually work very closely with a local nonprofit called Frisco Fast Packs. And so we were able to host a food drive with them. And obviously still in the heaviness of all of COVID, one of their products is hand sanitizer. And that was actually a product that they shifted to during the pandemic. And so we did a food drive and we're able to donate a lot of unperishable foods to that local food pantry. And then they matched that with miniature hand sanitizers to include in those packs that were going out to local kiddos here in our school district. So finding those synergies as well was something that was extremely fun for us and something that we always love doing with our partners, and continuing that was so great to be able to do with our homegrown partners as well.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of people exhausted after the Grit Fitness workout session, but it was fine. It was fine. And that's what's so great, I think, about this opportunity, because just like any sports franchise or major corporation would do with corporate partners, corporate sponsors, however you want to position that, this is absolutely the same sort of sponsorship or partnership agreement that FC Dallas activates with its homegrown partners. And Manny, Casa M Spice did a phenomenal job activating that homegrown partnership in year one. Good Morning America aside, because we know that is a bit of a once in a lifetime opportunity and a huge business driver. Mm-hmm. What additional steps did you take during the 2021 year to ensure that Casa M maximized the program? And I think this is really applicable, not just to a DEI program or something that funnels out of that filter, but for really any partner looking to maximize an agreement or a partnership with a franchise like a sports brand. What sort of steps did you take to ensure that Casa M did take the best advantage of that opportunity?
You know, communication was always key. So when we knew we'd have the weekly meetings together with the marketing team, with Cody, with Madison, with Megan, et cetera, we would have a team huddle prior to those meetings, and we would want to come up with ideas. Let's share with them. Let's let them know what our vision is and get their feedback. Not only did we want to share what our vision was, but we wanted to make sure that we would listen as well. Obviously, they are the experts. They have a lot more resources. They did, as you mentioned, Gina. We're a smaller company. The homegrown partners are generally a smaller group, and we don't have the resources of FC Dallas. So we wanted to allow them to take the lead and provide their recommendations. And so a lot of back and forth. Again, talk about what we had in mind and tell them what we thought might be a great idea, or ask for their advice, and let's see what sort of feedback they would provide. Additionally, and I will say somewhat selfishly, we actually co-branded everything that we have that we could potentially co-brand. We did. We went so far as to purchase a Toyota. We knew that they were a fellow sponsor of FC Dallas. We wrapped it with the FC Dallas logo and our logo. Of course, we checked with your legal, of course, before we did anything. But we did do that, knowing that that was going to open doors for us. It would start a dialogue with folks that normally wouldn't inquire about a spice company, right? So if we're walking through an airport and we have the FC Dallas and the Casa M Spice, I can't tell you how many times we've been stopped and asked, hey, are you with FC Dallas? And we, of course, respond, no, we're only a sponsor, but let me tell you about our wonderful line of spice blends that we offer. So it really did open a lot of doors for us. In fact, so much so that we've actually extended our partnership with FC Dallas for an additional 3 years. So we are still very excited about it. Again, I can't tell you how many times we thought the ideas that we were coming up with were maybe a little bit too much or a little crazy, and we would present them, and Cody and Megan would get excited, and they're like, yeah, let's do it, but let's do it this way, or let's take a different approach. And then the following week, when we follow up with that conversation, we're like, okay, we've thought about it all week, and you can tell that they put a lot of effort into it, and they think this is the direction that we want to go. And of course, we'd all agree and move on. So really just being proactive. and being proud to be a part of that extended FC Dallas family really did make a difference. You want to be engaged. They do listen. Again, it was a wonderful experience all around working with the group. So don't be shy. Ask for the moon and see what they come back with.
That's what I always tell people. Never fear the no. You know, whether you're trying to pitch a reporter, pitch a brand, make a business pitch, never fear the no. And I think it's a great lesson there. And Megan, perhaps you can weigh in here, and Dan, you as well, because you have this perspective. Taking advantage of the assets you have and making sure you're maximizing it. Because I've seen you walking around, Manny, with your co-branded FC Dallas, Casa M Spice polo. We've seen the truck out there. I mean, that really does go far in terms of brand recognition, selfishly, not just for Casa M Spice, but also for FC Dallas. Megan, what can you say about a brand really maximizing every aspect of that?
Yeah, no, I love it. So that is one thing I love to brag on with FC Dallas is, yes, a package might be customized, but we can change anything along the way as the business changes. So maximizing, to your point, we go out in the community and activate. We go to festivals, clinics, food shows, everything. And when it makes sense, we would call Manny and the Casa family and say, do you want to come with us? Is this something you want to be in our footprint and be a part with us? And they would bring their cool co-branded Toyota vehicle. And, it's the power of bringing those brands together. So I think really just I don't want to use the key, thinking outside the box or anything, but we always, anything crazy, anything that comes up. And Manny, I think at one point you had, if you don't still, 2 co-branded vehicles.
Yes. And in addition to that, the entire Casa M Spice team now has asked for magnets to place on their vehicles. So they're privately owned vehicles. So we have 2 company vehicles, and now every Spice Wrangler, which are sales folks that are going out, they want the magnets on their cars. So now FC Dallas will be on upwards of 7 vehicles now throughout the Metroplex.
I love that. And Gina, you mentioned the National Soccer Hall of Fame induction, and we have a kickoff party every year. And last year we went to the Casa M Spice family and we said, hey, we have a gifting suite. Do you want to be a part of this on a national level and show off your product? And they were receiving some orders after, and they said, hey, was this company on your guest list? And that was just something that we came up. So they were able to have national exposure, and orders were coming in after that. We couldn't pinpoint, was it someone there or not? We were looking this up. So it's a success story we hadn't planned on, but it's allowing those opportunities even outside of the assets that they have.
I think that's fascinating. I mean, it really is. And it opens your eyes to what can really be accomplished with a partnership, beyond a DEI partnership or something of that nature. It really opens your eyes to what you can actually do with something along these lines. Dan, did you have something? Dan, you were talking there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I got to tell you, man, you guys had the best reception of all. We did a Zoom call with all of our winners, and you were on vacation. Where were you?
We were in St. Lucia learning how to scuba dive off of rebreathers, so more of a tech diving experience.
So better than what we were doing in a conference room. It was fun. And, sometimes you borrow things from, different things that you see. And in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you always see the knock. And we now have this as kind of the call where we get to call and let our new homegrown partners know that they're part of our family. And I think I take a step back and I was remiss in not saying it. Something that FC Dallas is famous for is the homegrown players. You actually see 2 of them right behind Gina, and Jesus Ferreira and Paxton Pomacall. And a lot of, if you watch the U.S. men's national team, you get to see those players playing in the national team. And we have a number of them, whether they came from our academy, whether they came from the draft, or we traded for them. We do a great job, but we extended that into our community. And I can't emphasize this enough. It was time for us to speak up and have our voice heard. It was time to make change in our community. I think our foundation has done an unbelievable job. I give Brooke a lot of credit with how she's grown our foundation. One of my favorite things that we do here is community fields. We're on number 9, Brooke. Or is number 10 going in?
Number 10 is under construction.
Number 10 is under construction, and we put fields into underserved communities. And I'm really proud of that, providing a safe space for kids to live healthy, active lifestyles and play the game we all love so much. And Brooke has been so involved with our homegrown partners, and to the credit of her and her team, and I think they're the best in Major League Soccer. But the customizable experience of what we offered is what makes this incredibly unique, because every partner was different. Casa M had different needs and wants than other partners. But I was thrilled to see that our other partners embraced our homegrown partners, and our homegrown partners embraced our other partners. And then our fans embraced them, and the season ticket members. And we really are a family business. We talk about this all the time here. My brother and I are partners in this business, but every single person on this call from our side and our fans, our players, our staff here, they're part of our family. We all spend so much time together, and we all feel the love here at FC Dallas, and it's just great to be able to extend that into our community in a positive way and see businesses be successful. And again, I go back to we had a lot of really bad things, and they continue to happen, unfortunately, and not enough people are speaking up with not just their voice, but with their actions. Actions are louder than words. And I know there are a number of people on this call, and I can't encourage you enough to put your thoughts and ideas into action to make change in your community. I'm so proud of everybody here. And we did bring in Larry Lundy, who's a friend, an outside consultant, and he helped us execute. There were a lot of things that we might have missed, not understood, and really help make this a special experience. And now we have 10 homegrown partners, and I'm excited because in the end, as these businesses grow, that means you're hiring more people. That means people's lives and trajectories are changed. And it means that there are just more opportunities for other businesses out there. So I think it has this unbelievable effect that can be felt across our entire community. And Gina said it earlier, the amount of outreach that we've had is really astonishing, with people talking to us about, wanting to take the plan or do it in their own way or their own scale or their own voice, which is great. And that's my biggest hope for this program, honestly, is that, there's a whole bunch of homegrown partnerships that pop up all across the United States, because if that happens, we will change thousands and thousands of people's lives, all born out of a conversation that just didn't end with people talking. It ended with us all moving into action. And what's also been really cool is getting to meet a new group of people that I actually knew Carlton Dixon at Reveal Suits. And so it was funny, our paths hadn't crossed in a long, long time, but we went to the same school. But to reconnect with him, and he's actually making a suit for me right now, which I'm really excited about, but more to come on that later. But to have new friends, and I'm excited about that. New people I'm cheering for. I got to see, with the Smokey John's guys, the announcement that they beat a very famous barbecue joint here in Dallas. Was that in the first or second round of eliminations? And I mean, that popped right up first round. That popped right up on my phone from Google. And obviously AI is a lot smarter than I am, because it knows how to tag me with everything. But that was just a great experience to see them and the success that they were having too. And so it's been powerful. It's been something I'm really, excited about. And, the future is so bright for it, because we continue to see stories like Casa M and the success they're having. But yes, yours may go down as the all-time favorite announcement, because you were in a beautiful, sunny place.
And we were all in an office. Manny and Mike were.
It was a pretty great experience.
Dan, you bring up an interesting point that, this was an idea. And look, everybody has a great idea. Every brand has a great idea. It's execution that makes it successful. And when we thought of this, hey, we have this idea, and it was intangible because we hadn't thought we couldn't even look to any other sports franchise or organization, for that matter, who had been practicing or executing an idea of this nature, where you're putting an entire enterprise in motion to create some sort of DEI program focused on minority communities to provide assets, access, in the hopes of creating that social and economic change. And there is real bandwidth that is required from everyone throughout the organization. Walk us through, both Dan and Megan and Brooke, some of the challenges we faced internally, getting the internal buy-in for the Homegrown Partner Program, because you had to think about sponsor conflicts. You had to think about, okay, Brooke has to build a field over here. Does she really have the time to do something else? I have to communicate one thing over here about FC Dallas. Is there enough time to really market and build the brand around the Homegrown Partner Program? Walk us through what some of those internal conversations were like, and to get that internal buy-in throughout the entire enterprise.
Yeah, there are a lot of great ideas all the time. There are a lot of great products, and they never make it to the finish line. My grandfather always said, he came from the oil field. He always says, it's better to be lucky than good. And you've got to have luck in life for things to be successful. And I think the great luck that we had at FC Dallas was the level of accountability that we have to each other, because once the idea was born, there was no going back. It was everybody in the entire company got behind this, because we're all busy, and soccer is a unique beast in that it's basically 11 plus months a year. Our field complex is open 350 something days a year. I mean, we probably need to double the size of our staff. Please don't tell anybody else I said that. I'm not going to say I overwork you guys, but I might. No, we're in the trust circle here, but there's no shortage of things to do. And Gina, you addressed it, but this was something that was important to everybody. I talked to my brother about it, who's my partner here at FC Dallas, and he said, look, this is one of the best ideas I think I've ever heard, and it's something that I'm really proud of, and it's creative, because the Chiefs were also looking at different opportunities in Kansas City and working with the players there. A lot of guys had initiatives, and I think the Chiefs, were pushing those ideas ahead. But this, and I don't want to take credit for it, because there were a lot of people that had their hands in this, and a lot of people who helped mold this over time. But the good fortune was accountability to each other and the desire to make change. And really cool to watch everybody here put their best effort forward. And I mean, there was a lot of above and beyond, but our partners too. I mean, we go back, Manny, you guys are an unbelievable partner. And it's the good fortune. It's also the good fortune too, that is, we see how this can be impactful for years and years to come, because sometimes you can have the best intentions possible and it doesn't work out. And you guys were so committed to this, so committed to us, and then working together, so creative, so fun to be around. And yet you have also an unreal product, and our products, I should say. And so that's been really fun. And I think we had a lot of, and there's always going to be varying levels of success, especially with 5 partners, but our partners were all successful in different ways in the first group. And it was the energy that we needed to have to build upon, because if we'd done this, and I had the fear that you do something and it doesn't work out and it's not successful, or it's a bad experience. And again, there were things that we had to learn from how we're going to help you all grow your businesses, and how we were going to do this in the right way. We had the right intentions, but there's always a right way, or most of the time there's a right way to do things. And I think that was something we were focused on. But our rookie class, I call it our rookie class. It was really a Hall of Fame class, to be honest with you, because we had 5 great businesses that executed in different ways, with varying levels of success. But it gave us the energy and the momentum that we needed to have to push this forward.
And Dan, listening to you bring up a great point. From our side in partnership marketing, I said from day one, once we go through the process with our D&I committee, outside consultants, our committee internally, once we onboard these partners, they're just like every other partner, whether it's a homegrown or a traditional partnership. And Manny, you can probably attest to that, the way we onboarded you last year, the way we set meetings, do mid-season recaps, make you feel like you're at our events, even if you're not here for every single one. We've handled things the same way this year. Consistency is key in our world. And I think that's why it translated into a long-term partnership from my point of view. But I'd love to hear from you, what was different from year 1 to year 2, and has there been anything other than learnings as we got through the beginning of the partnership?
I will say the experience has been identical. And in fact, I have that in my notes. I wanted to make sure that did come across. From being a homegrown sponsor to an actual paid sponsor, that transition was seamless. The meetings remained the same. The communication was consistent from year 1 to year 2. The only thing that I would say that changed is that our creativity on both sides really has grown exponentially. The new ideas that we're both coming up with, the excitement from year 1 to year 2 is the same. We're still rooting for each other. We do want to see each other succeed. That has not changed. I just can't stress that enough. From a paid sponsor to a non-paying sponsor, homegrown sponsor to a paying sponsor, that transition was seamless, and the experience level is exactly the same. That passion that we get now as a paying sponsor was there in year 1 from the entire marketing group. There's not a single asset at FC Dallas that I could say, well, maybe we were treated a little bit different. That was simply not the case. They were passionate. We were excited. Everybody was excited. We look forward to the meetings. We look forward to working together, and that's always been the case.
And I think that's what's interesting, because going into this, and I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I don't even think it was on our radar having the homegrown partners transition into a different type of partnership, into a culinary partner like Casa M is, Manny. Why did it make sense for Casa M Spice to make that transition?
Since the company's inception, that was always a goal of ours. How do we get into food service? We know there's a huge market, but we also know that there's a lot of competition. We've had limited success. That being, we've partnered with Neiman Marcus, and we had some success with our product in their restaurant. We've had some success. We won Sandwich of the Year in Houston with our product, but that was pretty much the extent of it. It's a very hard market to get into. Partnering with Legends and FC Dallas and knowing that we would be on the concession stand and the way they promote Casa M Spice. If you go to a concession stand menu, you'll actually see our product, you'll see our name, you'll see our shakers. It was a no-brainer for us. It was absolutely something that we were excited about. When that was presented to us, we jumped all over it, and absolutely it just made sense for us, and it will help us ultimately with our resume. Again, selfishly, I look at it, and now we can tout that we have our product with a professional soccer club using it on the concessions, and putting that on our resume is absolutely a huge win for us. So thank you for that.
And I'd say this, I never in my wildest dreams imagined that we would go from having a homegrown partner to more of a traditional partner, even though all of our partners are the same here. It blew my mind. And I just want to hear you say that, or hear it from me, as I'm so incredibly thankful for you guys and what you've done for the club and everything. And yeah, that was never my expectation in this. My expectation was that we needed to, replace words with actions and make changes in our communities and help local businesses grow. And I know we'll probably hit this, and there are a number of people on this call with different sports teams, and I would just encourage you to reach out to us. And we are here to help you out if this is a program you want to grow within your own communities, because it takes all of us, making this effort to help make change. So please reach out to any of us. We're happy to hop on a Zoom with your organization. I even think, Manny, I don't want to volunteer your time here.
Go ahead.
I'm good at volunteering people's time. But I think Manny,
you're part of the family now, Manny.
Yeah, that's it. I'm stuck.
You're stuck with us, and we're glad to be stuck with you. But I think we would be willing to help anybody out here with ideas and practices. And we've come up with some interesting matrices as we go along to go through this. And so, and Gina, I'm sure you were going to hit this, but I would be remiss if I didn't offer that opportunity to other organizations here.
And just to kind of revisit something that Dan mentioned earlier, when an idea in a program like this comes about, regardless of how busy you are, you create time, you find time to make this and put it together and execute it. And let me tell you, I was one of the ones on the receiving end of applications, and going through those, I was getting so excited. We got to the interview phases and having interviews with all of these companies. It's so exciting and eye-opening, and you want success for everyone. And so seeing the success that we've had with Casa M Spice, as well as our other homegrown partners, has been awesome. And even our homegrown partners from previous classes, we're always rooting for them, and we're going to continue building upon that. And like Dan mentioned with Smoky John's, he saw that notification come through and got excited, because again, we're rooting for everybody to be successful. And To that point, there will not be an event that I host here at Toyota Stadium that does not feature the Casa M Spicy Margarita on the menu. And it's one of my personal favorites, but we truly do want to enhance all of our homegrown partners as well as our traditional partners. And Megan and our business development team, Melissa Janetta, do such a wonderful job at aligning these various companies with our company as well.
Yeah, and Brooke, something you said, which I was blown away with the numbers. Manny, you alluded to it too, that we had huge numbers in both of these classes. But as you go through it, there are companies that truly speak to you, that you think are ready for this opportunity. And it's hard. The no's are hard, but it also, you're winding up putting companies, in line in future years. It's not just no and go away. It's no for this reason, but no is not never. And if you come back, we think you'll be well suited in a year or two, and we're here to help you grow. And as we build out that pipeline too. So I would just, anybody who's considering this, that was something that really, really struck me as it's a hard process, but there are companies that really, you say, look, I think this is going to be a great fit this year and we can really help them grow. But this company that's on its way, it's only a year or two away from being ready for us, helping them, with this opportunity. And it just, all it means is our family's getting bigger too. And I'm excited about that.
And
well, and we can only choose. Oh, sorry, Gina. I was going to say we can only choose so many, Dan. I mean, each year. And I think one thing that you really hit home with us is no matter if you're a current homegrown partner or a previous one, let's continue to use these businesses. So we've already been in touch with some of the class of 21 and invited them out to participate in events that we have going forward. And there were some that didn't make the homegrown partner program, but were like, they will be a great vendor at this. Mm-hmm. So we've got an event coming up in August before one of our matches, and you'll see some of the 21 class, the 22, as well as some that are going to make great vendors for us that will be coming out as well.
Well, and Gina, you asked a question about our current partners maybe in the same space. As a homegrown partner, you alluded to it. Our partners have been so receptive to our homegrown partners. There's been very little, and Megan deals with this directly all the time. Instead of it being a point of conflict, it's been a point of how do we help them grow? And they've embraced the different opportunities that exist. And so I'm really pleased with the way this has turned out, because it's acting like a family should, and sticking together and supporting each other. And our family just keeps getting bigger as we go through this. But our current partners, we all deal with exclusivities and those things, but instead it's been met with, I think, a warm embrace on how they can help make change too.
I think there's some really good lessons there from an evaluation standpoint. A homegrown partner applicant may not be a great fit for the partnership program at that time, but they could be a great vendor, or they could be a great applicant 2 or 3 years down the road when their business might be a little bit more developed. And I think Dan's point about, our sponsors / partners really embracing the homegrown partners, that's a testament to really finding the right fit when it comes to these types of programs. And I think we're all trying to navigate that process. The title of this panel is Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Programs that Create Social and Economic Change in Communities. And there are 2 words there you really want to highlight: social and economic. Those are our internal key performance indicators, KPIs, those measurements for success. And it's Peter Staub on here who asks this question much better than I was going to ask this question. So I'm going to ask Peter's question, and I'd love to get both the FC Dallas perspective and Manny's perspective as a homegrown partner's point of view. How do you measure success in the DEI space with your partners? Is this an area in which the main focus is revenue generation, or are there other driving factors?
I can take, obviously, from the price side, from the sponsorship side. For us, it's that brand recognition. When we are out, we'll talk to folks at different venues as a vendor, and they'll say, yes, we've seen you at the FC Dallas Stadium, or we've seen you on their marketing emails, or it's all about building that brand. And I can't tell you how much FC Dallas has helped in that regard. Yes, we can quantify by sales as well. I can tell you, we can look at the surrounding area that the FC Dallas Stadium is in and the grocery store chains that we have placement in. We know that our sales are up, and we can track that and we can quantify that in that regard. But more importantly for us, we are a younger company. We're only 3.5 years old, and building that brand and building our name was extremely important for us. And that's absolutely what you have helped us all to do and accomplish.
I think that's so important to hear, because ultimately at the end of the day, most people want to make money, and those revenue metrics are so important. But brand awareness is one of those first steps in making money and driving that revenue. And hearing that from your point of view there, I think is so critical. Megan, can you share some other KPIs that our homegrown partners were really focused on in accomplishing during the first year of the program?
Sure, absolutely. And I touched on it a bit earlier, whether it was just brand awareness from being a young company, but you had other ones that the pandemic really affected them. And we've got, power with FC Dallas and our brand in the community. And they needed that again. They needed to connect with our fans and supporters. And they wanted to be introduced to a new audience. We really thought about this program, and, a company like Casa M Spice or all of our homegrown partners might not even have thought a sports partnership was in the cards for them in the future. And we showed them what we can do together. What brings people together? Sports, food, family. It's everything that we believe in here. So it was a huge part of using our brand to help amplify their business. All of them had different KPIs. Sure, there were ones that wanted to increase revenue. Maybe they were in retail locations or online. But some of it was, we need your fans to know who we are. And that's still the case with some of our homegrowns for this year as well.
And ultimately, Dan, I think you do a really good job of articulating this. Ultimately, yeah, the revenue part's nice. Let's talk about jobs and other opportunities within that local part of the community.
Well, look, we're not even coming out because COVID is still with us. And we're seeing a rise in cases again. Unfortunately, I think this is something we're going to have to live with for a long time. But sustainability, let's start with that, because we still didn't know how things were going to be when we launched this program. And so to see our first 5 selections be able to sustain and grow their businesses, and not necessarily staring at their revenue bottom line, but seeing them just in a healthy place. That was really important to us. There could have been, the biggest disaster for us would have been, being with partners who then eventually their businesses went away. That would have been really bad for this program. And you always have those fears. Again, you're trying something new with all the right intentions. And so we were focused on setting up a great foundation, having it be sustainable. For me, it's job growth in these communities. That's really one of the biggest metrics for me, because people with jobs can make change within their own households and within their own communities. Maybe eventually they go off on their own and start their own business too, which then it's just that sort of continuation of a successful environment. And so you're excited about those opportunities. So yeah, for me, that metric one was, being able to sustain these companies or putting them in a place where they could sustain themselves. And it wasn't all about FC Dallas. And there was a lot of hard work, as Manny can attest in his business, and the others can too. They had built something, but to keep them going, but then also to see them grow and get new opportunities, new leads. That for me is really important, because I want them to be financially successful, but I'm not staring at the revenue bottom line. I know when it's a successful story, when I see, Casa M Spices, at a grocery store or around our community, or people using it, or Reveal suits, when I see, people wearing those suits. It's sort of one after Smokey John, seeing them on my phone the other day, that those are successful stories that are being told, and jobs are being, not just sustained, but also created.
Have about 5 minutes left here on our diversity, equity, and inclusion discussion, focusing on programs in this space that really do create social and economic change. And as we come to a close here, Manny, I'd love to get from your perspective, from the business side, what advice do you have for a brand or a business who wants to participate in a program like this? You've maximized it. You've probably been a best case scenario because you've transitioned from a homegrown partner to a full culinary partner of the franchise. You wear our stuff, you drive the vehicles. But what advice do you have for a company that's really looking to participate in something of this nature?
So when you're given that golden ticket and you get that call from Mr. Hunt and he says you've been approved and you're accepted and you're a part of the family now, don't treat it as a sponsor, treat it as a true partnership, because that is truly what it is. I can tell you every step of the way, they want to see you succeed. Make sure you share your ideas, you keep that open line of communication, you take their advice, incorporate that into other areas of other aspects of your business. I can't tell you how much knowledge we've gained just from working with the marketing group. Cody, Madison, Megan, everybody has just been great. Take what they give you and just run with it. And again, incorporate it into other aspects of your business. But truly, your approach should be, this is a partnership. You may think it's a equivalent value of $100,000, but you're not a paid sponsor. You're going to be treated differently. I can assure you, you are not. You were treated just as one of the other sponsors, as part of the family, and you really want to let them take the lead in certain areas, and don't be hesitate to share your ideas and share your vision and listen and really run with it.
I think that's a great takeaway for any organization like a sports franchise who wants to participate in a program like this or execute one. That equal treatment. We're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, making sure that treatment is completely equal across all partners and across all sponsors. Dan, we know that a program like this not only benefits partners, but really an organization. What have you seen from your point of view that has really helped this organization in terms of FC Dallas grow and develop and learn by participating in the Homegrown Partner Program?
Yeah, Gina, we're in sports, right? The rallying cry is on the field. You're participating, every Saturday or Sunday or midweek match. I mean, we have a big match tonight. And so your eyes are always drawn to that. But this has given us a rallying cry off the field, and it united a lot of different departments. It also, I think was a great point for us in our own DE&I committee that we built out here that, Brooke's been a part of and others have been a part of too. It was something that brought the organization closer together with a different common goal to see us succeed and our new partners, our homegrown partners, succeed off the field. And also just make us aware of what's going on in the different communities. And you see those things, and I think I was even more aware of the challenges that small businesses face. That was something, as you're part of businesses that grow over time, sometimes you lose sight of those things. And I think we really got to experience some of those pain points with our partners, being it and, sometimes not being selected, or some of the issues that they were trying to overcome. I think that was a big awareness thing. I think we just became more aware of our own environment and realized this, time to stop talking and start, producing and start putting those words into action so that we can have a positive impact. Sports is incredibly powerful. It is, and you see why the media contracts are so valuable, and it's live TV and it's the entertainment and it binds people together. But you also need to not be focused on the revenue. Sometimes you not be focused on the bottom line. You need to be focused on the positive impact sports teams can have in each and every one of our communities. And I think this is something that we have done exceptionally well. I'm incredibly proud of. I'm proud of all my team members, and I'm proud of all my partners too in this, and it's been great. And we get new partners, and I hope we're putting this on a path that it's going to be stable for many, many years to come, so we can continue to effectuate change in our own home community.
Awesome. Manny, Brooke, Megan, Dan, thank you all so much for the candor and the time today. Thanks to everybody who participated: Stephanie, Melissa, Larry, Jason, Peter, Miguel, Jen, Laura, Kendall, some friendly faces, legends, Angela, Aaliyah, Stephanie, Christy, thank you all for participating as well. We hope that we did a good job of explaining a program that we're all so passionate about. If we didn't, let us know. Feel free to email us. We're all on Swap Card. We're all available. We're all easily accessible. Let us know, what questions did we not cover? What questions do you have that we didn't cover? Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on YouTube a year down the road, keep in touch with us and let us know, because we'd like to learn more about your thoughts in this space and where you see this space particularly growing. So thank you for the time. Any other final parting words before we sign off and say goodbye?
I just thank you for doing this, and I say a heartfelt thank you again to our entire staff here at FC Dallas, and to our partners like Casa M Spice. You know, it was a big leap of faith by everybody here, and you can see the positive impact that we've had. I'm proud of it. I want to do this for years to come, and I would encourage each and every one of you on this call to reach out to us. We're here to help you grow this, because success isn't defined by us making money off of this. Success is defined by us helping educate so that you can make changes in your own community using the powerful impact of sports. So we are here for you. Feel free. And thank you again for your time.
Awesome. Great summary, Dan. Appreciate it. If you want to learn more about the Homegrown Partner Program, just what that process looks like, you can visit fcdallas.com/homegrown partners. And special thanks to the National Sports Forum for letting us chat about this over the past hour. It's a really great discussion. It's been a really great day, and we were thrilled to be a part of it. Thanks again, everyone. Look forward to meeting in person at some point very, very soon.